Cloud connected. If you can see me and hear me and see me, it is Sunday night. Sunday night live. If you're live, if you're not live, then this is being recorded. But here we are, B minor.
And the X Factor, Sunday Night Live. If we say SNL, is that trademark? Is that a copyright problem?
I think if we say Sunday Night Live, does that prevent the plagiarism? Because it's not actually Saturday Night Live. We're talking Sunday Night Live. So it is an abbreviate or an acronym for Sunday Night Live instead of Saturday Night Live. I don't know what the trademark would be on that.
Well, I mean, I think that nobody's taken Sunday Night Live yet, unless they have. I don't know. I haven't looked too deeply into it. But ladies and gentlemen, if it's not taken, we call dibs.
We call dibs usage rights. If you use it more than once, it's yours. So Sunday Night Live, Sunday Night Live, Sunday Night Live, Sunday Night Live. Here we are, ready to rock and roll. Roll on.
You want to rock and roll tonight, both?
I like to rock. I like to roll. I like to rock and roll tonight, Sunday nights. That's how we do it. So welcome. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Unfortunately, we had a special guest joining us, but he's not feeling good, so he had to take a rain check. Prayers up for our man King, especially with all the sickness and craziness going on in our world. We pray that he's all right and that he's going to fight through this, and we're going to get him on here soon. But we're still going to rock and roll. Not just rock, not just roll, rock and roll.
Bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it. I've been saying that because I was watching this. It's called Donnie Brasco. It's a mafia movie, and they keep saying forget about it, and now I cannot stop saying forget about it. It's kind of a problem.
What accent or what slang is that?
I think it's like, I mean, I guess Italian, but like it makes me think of like Italian people from Boston or like Italian people from New York or something like that. Like forget about it. You can say it in so many different ways. You have to do this. If you don't do this, you didn't do anything.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Mamma mia. Like I said, I tried to make homemade pizzas tonight, a pizza pie, and it didn't work. It turned out to be bread. But don't worry. We're going to run it back on Sunday of next week. So exactly 7 days from today. And hopefully the result will be better. But the bread was fine. Great bread.
It didn't turn out very well. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Forget about it. But next week is going to be, forget about it. So good.
So good. So good. So good. We're here. So Rebecca, thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, King, we called an audible, not feeling good. So hopefully he's all right. So send him a message. Hopefully he's well. But we're going to rock this thing. We're going to roll this thing.
Yeah, he actually just texted me about 15 minutes ago and said he thinks he has COVID, maybe. So hopefully that's not it. I asked him what made him think that, and he said he's kind of got the chills and sore throat and some of the symptoms. So hopefully that's not the case, and it's just a quick little end of summer bug, and he's doing good. If he told you about himself, Grant, I know the other people on here may or may not know, but he had a heart condition that they found when he started playing for Baylor, and they were doing the stress tests and stuff to clear him to be able to play. So if he is that sick, hopefully that's not the case, and because he's got other circumstances that can make it a really bad situation for him. So.
For sure. So we totally understand. Hopefully he's going to get through this, and we're going to get him back on. And he's got a great story. He's an ESPN analyst, not college basketball analyst now, after having a successful career at Baylor, after having an internal defibrillator placed in his heart. So guy's a warrior. We're wishing him well. We're hoping he's back with us in a couple weeks. So appreciate you guys joining tonight. We're going to get started right away. There's been a lot of tragedy this year, but there's been good things we've learned, and there's been people that have been brought to the forefront. Sadly, this last week, we had a tragic woman of amazing influence pass. We're going to have our good friend, Will. Will, are you on? Let's get you unmuted here. He's going to share with us a quote and talk, and then we're going to share a little bit of more information. Will, take over, bud.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg once said, fight for the things that you care about, but do in a way that will lead others to join you, just like all you guys do every day. That's part of the reason why I picked the quote, because people will follow you once someone starts and do good things. And I really appreciate this message.
Boom. Nailed it, Will. That's a great one. Do it in such a way that people will follow. I think that's just so powerful, because it's easy to say to do something, but then let's see if I'm trying to find it. I had that same one. Give it to us one more time, Will. Will you read it to us again?
Sure. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you.
I love that. Fight for things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So being a leader, you can't just do things. You have to fight for those things, but you can't be fighting alone. What do you think of that one, Pont? Give us a little insight to your feelings about that quote.
I think that's amazing, because like having a support system, and you and I are people who try to be that person, that support system for others, right? There's a lot of people that don't have that, and they go through tough times, and they go through things that they don't want to go through, and they don't have anybody to talk to. They don't have anybody to look to lean on, to put their heads on their shoulders and have them told that, hey, everything's going to be okay, right? So definitely, continue to fight through anything, no matter what you're going through. Like our guy King, right? Like one thing about him, and he's under the weather right now, at the end of the day, you cannot say that this guy is not a fighter, man. Like this guy went through, and you'll everybody's going to hear about him when he comes onto our show eventually, but with the heart problems and everything that he's went through, like, you can't say the guy's not a survivor. You cannot say the guy's not a fighter and a perseverer. So at the end of the day, like, no matter what, keep fighting through, do what you can. And, if you need a support system, hey, Brent and I are here. That's what we're here. That's literally why we have this podcast, to provide positivity. And I don't want to say a shoulder to cry on, but if that's what you need, be your shoulder to cry on.
Sometimes people need a shoulder to cry on. Sometimes they need somebody to bring a little joy into their life. Either way, those things sometimes are needed. So we can be there for you. We're here tonight. We have a couple quotes. I had a couple. It was pretty cool today. Football Sunday. Justin Herbert, the former Oregon Ducks quarterback, found out that he was going to start like 15 minutes before the game started today. And took it into overtime against the reigning MVP, the $500 million man, Patrick Mahomes, and they came up just short. But talk about, I kind of think of being a backup quarterback. Think about that. All week, Justin Herbert was preparing like he was going to be the backup. Or so you think. He was preparing like he was going to be the starter, because when his number got called, he was ready. And that's something that I think about that a lot, is the backup quarterback's mentality. The backup quarterback in the NFL can be the most prepared person in the world, and no one will ever know unless everybody knows. Until everybody knows, when the starting quarterback gets hurt, everybody will know. And today, Justin Herbert from University of Oregon put on a show, running for touchdowns, throwing for touchdowns, and they came up a little bit short. But for the first career start on his first drive to score a rushing touchdown, and then his next drive to throw a passing touchdown, and a kid that grew up in Eugene, a little ways away from where I grew up. So I just have a lot of respect for guys. He's a 3.9 college student, graduated from University of Oregon, and had a successful first day as an NFL quarterback. So I thought that was pretty cool news. I just had to throw that out there.
Did you watch that game, West fans? Did you
One more
actually watch that game? Did you actually get to watch that game?
I watched part of it, and then I had to run a few errands, but I did get to watch part of it. Did you watch it?
Yeah, Kansas City is actually my team before Mahomes, but he's impressive, very impressive.
And Kansas City is my new team because I just moved to Kansas 5 weeks ago.
Let's
yeah,
go,
we need all the fans, Will.
Yeah.
It is I'm glad that he performed well, or that you saw him and thought. But think about that. You just the whole week you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to be on the sideline with my headset on, clipboard in hand, taking notes, and all of a sudden they're like, you're on national TV and you're the starter.
He looked good. He looked very professional. If you didn't know that he was backup, and you would have never been able to tell. I think he made 2 rookie mistakes that they pointed out, where he went left when he should have gone right, and threw when he maybe should have held, but he didn't make many mistakes, and he looked great. He passed well. He did very, very accurate, on point passing, which is difficult as a NFL level quarterback. It's difficult at any level. But
when you have 350-pound men that can run a 4.7 40 trying to rip your head off, and you're able to put it on a dime and pass it right where you want it, that's impressive.
Hey, Brent, I have a question for you. And I have a question for everybody here, too. This is a conversation that my roommate and I have had. If me, right now, 5'8", well, no, okay, I'm 5'8", 155, generously. Give me a year to train, and then I go into an NFL game, and I take 50 carries in a row consecutively as a halfback. I got blockers, and I got all that good stuff. Do you think I would die?
I think you would get hurt before you die. If you had a year to train, these are professional people that are getting paid millions of dollars to also train, and they've been training for a lot longer than a year. So I'm not saying you would die. I think you would get hurt so severely before you could die that you wouldn't be able to carry on.
Going, like, even if I'm unconscious, I still have to keep going.
Yeah, and I would have to say, you have to have the heart, the toughness, the grit of the tiger to go in them and get them excited and go on offense.
No, I got the grit of the tiger.
Have that attitude. It's go on offense. Play like you think like you're a champion against them to be that.
Well, I'll be Will has watched a lot of us to have that mentality. Will, we're rubbing off on you, Will. I love that mentality of go in, but 5'8", going up against 6'6", 350 coming at you. It depends on how good your blocking is. So there is a few variables.
Yeah, it's also part of Ivory Latta's book, Despite the Height.
Not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. There's a lot of fight in this dog.
There's a lot of fight in this dog, but there's also not enough of this dog to get through that battle. So I think that I would probably perish, but I appreciate the generosity.
But what I think you're smart enough to do is, if there was money on the line, take a 2-yard loss on every play and just kneel for 50 consecutive plays and get them on a technicality.
That's what I thought too, but we did put in the clause of the conversation that I can't do that, and I can't run out of bounds, and I can't slide either.
Enough people know you that they had to put that protection clause in place.
Exactly.
You're sharp enough, kid. You're a sharp enough guy to be able to figure out a way to get it done.
Take a knee every time. Well, I appreciate this. I appreciate the contribution, because this has been an ongoing conversation.
I'm sure your mom always said you can do whatever you want to do. Just put your mind to it.
Yes, she did, but sometimes she also told me to be realistic. So I do that as well. But hey, if the price is right, go out there and give it a shot.
Man, how long do you think you could stay in the round against Mike Tyson? At his current age, he's been fighting lately. He's been training a little bit. How long do you think you could stay in the ring before you were knocked out cold?
As long as I can run around, and that's not going to be very long. I'll give it probably – there's no way I last one round. I would say generously probably I would say 15 seconds.
You think you could keep him at bay and keep him away for more than 15 or for about 15 seconds?
Because the way I think about it, I'm going to be because obviously we're going to start on different sides of the ring. So it's going to take him about 5 seconds to get to me. I'm going to sprint to the right. I'm just going to take off. Because there's no point in me trying to fight him. He's going to literally kill me. So I'm going to sprint over here. He's going to come over there. But he's going to be in the middle now because he's knowing that I'm trying to run away. So then I'm going to try to go left or right. Whichever way I go, he's going to get me. Boom, boom. He's going to knock me out, and I'm going to be done. I'll give that timeline about 15 seconds.
Do you curl up though? At what point do you just get in the fetal position, put your head between your knees, and kiss your ass goodbye?
If that's an option, immediately. as soon as the bell dings, that is the first thing I'm going to do. But if I have to give it an honest shot, I will give it 3 seconds upon contact.
That sounds about right. That seems, I mean, I'm thinking about riding a bull, right? 8 seconds. If you can stay on the bull for 8 seconds, you're like a pro, right? So I'm just thinking about if you'd be able to, if at the same time, Mike Tyson comes into the ring, the X Factor comes into the ring, trying to think about if that would last longer than a professional bull rider mounted up on a pissed off bull because they just put a hot something on its, I think they put a hot something on its testicles.
Oh, yeah? Is that what they
I think
do?
that's how they piss off a bull enough to try to buck the rider off, is they either squeeze them or they do something to piss the bull off.
Well, would that piss you
A
off?
strap or something that they put on them.
That would piss me off. I would be bucking like crazy too.
That would piss me off for sure. And then whoever was in the ring, once they let me go and I saw somebody, I would want to fight him right away. So I understand. It works.
So who is it? Which one? I mean, you said 15 seconds. So you're thinking that somebody could ride a bull twice for as long as you could stay alive?
Like, I would, because I would be, I'm decently athletic. So, like, I could run away. I could maneuver a little bit for 15 seconds. Like, that's tops. 15 seconds is complete tops. That's being very generous. As soon as he catches me, I'm done. Like, as soon as me and him are close enough to where the contact can happen, I'm done for. Because, like, I'm not going to, like, I mean, I can't, what am I going to do trying to hit him? There's no point.
Like, what's his reach? I think that would be the physics in this would be a key factor.
Longer than mine.
The cage. What's the reach?
He's longer than mine. He's stronger than me. He has more experience.
Way outweighs you.
He outweighs me. He's faster than me. I'd like to think I'm sharper than him, but that's not going to help me too much in the ring. So I'm going to have to use my cunning to get away from him. And it wouldn't last too long.
I kind of see that going as, you know, when someone's acting like they're going to hit you, but they don't really connect, and you're like, ow, and like they didn't even touch you. And I see it going something like that. Like,
But what if I just went out there and just hit him with a haymaker? Just boom, knocked him out. Everybody who bet for me is going to be very rich. Very rich. You go out there and just knock him out.
yes, the over-under on that is going to be outstanding.
Yeah, don't put your money on me. Don't
Like
do
the Karate Kid, Daniel-san. Nobody expected Daniel-san to pull out the crane and knock out Johnny. No one saw that coming.
that. No, definitely nobody saw that come. But hey, it's a true underdog story.
You know what's challenging? Sometimes when you think your battery's good, and it starts to drain, and then you get your charger, and your charger for some reason doesn't charge, and you're like, what's going on? Like, why is it not charging? And you check the plug, you check the wall, you check the wall, you check the plug, you check the port, after you check the port, you check where the two things, and if you can't figure it out, and then all of a sudden it goes green, or sometimes orange, and you're like, you just totally dodge a bullet, because I was worried that the computer was going to die and then it's going to kick us all off and then this show would be over. But no, it's charging now, so we're not going to lose out on this Zoom.
That has happened before, unfortunately.
What's worse, losing your wallet or misplacing your cell phone?
Oh, man. Do I have money? Do I have cash in my wallet?
You have a good amount of cash. I'd say $175
About
cash.
175. Okay, my phone costs more than that. The cards I can close right now. Oh, but that would be such a hassle because like you have your ID, you have your house key. Like I got my house key in mine. Oh man, that would be a hassle. I would rather lose my phone because my
There's
phone.
no app to track down your wallet. There's an app to track down your phone.
The reason I say I would rather lose my phone is because like I'm thinking of like just me completely losing both. This phone is an iPhone SE. I got this for less than $300. So I'm thinking if I have $175 cash in my wallet, plus all the other stuff, all the hassle, this and that, an extra $100, I would pay the extra $100 for all the hassle of canceling all my cards, getting new cards, having to pay the fees to get new cards, going and getting new ID, all that stuff. $100, another like $120. All right, I guess. Because the wallet is just a wallet, you know what I mean? Like I don't have an expensive wallet. I don't have like a Louis Vuitton wallet or anything, so they can have my low $10 wallet, I guess.
I think losing your phone though, if you lose when I misplace my phone, it's like, oh crap, like that just has everything in it. But I guess everything now is kind of on the cloud, so I could probably get all my contacts back. I could probably be able to get the apps back, and I know that people wouldn't be able to get into it because you have to type in your password. So, but I'd probably still rather lose my wallet, because you could always just cancel the cards. But then there's a lot of, I don't know. It's a tough one.
If I had like an iPhone 11 or something like that, like something that's more expensive than my phone, then okay. But at the end of that, I mean, trust me, I don't want either of these things. Both of these things would definitely suck. But the way I think about it, like, I got my laptop too. So like if I lose my phone, like I have all my contacts on there. I can save everything. I think I got insurance on my phone actually. I'm pretty sure.
Do your research on that, because if you're paying for it and you don't know, if you don't know, now you know. It's okay to have, but you got to know if you have it. So if you're just tuning in, it's Sunday Night Live. Our guest, King, was a little bit under the weather, so we don't have him on tonight. We will. Hopefully he's feeling better, but we're just talking a little bit, sharing some feelings about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing and some of the other things that have been going on in the world. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
Seriously, sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, we do appreciate it. Look, we got people in the chat. Even though we said that King was not going to be here, we have people here who want to hear us, which is actually kind of crazy. How crazy is that, Brand? People want to listen.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that we have over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we've been doing this. This would have been This is episode 22. 22 times, twice a week for 11 weeks. Carry the 1, carry the 2, 22, 11 weeks. That's how long we've been doing this. And we're still providing quality content that we have people watching live and people that are watching on replay. So thank you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Over 1K, Brand. We are up to something. We're up to something.
And it's not stopped. We're still on season 1. I don't know when we go from season 1 to season 2. I don't know how that works, whether it's a number of episodes or a year, or I don't know when we'll be switched over to season 2 on our YouTube channel. Something you and I probably need to have a conversation about, because I don't know. I just keep putting season 1, season 1, season 1, season 1.
How about 25 episodes?
One more time?
I said, how about 25 episodes? Every 25 episodes is one season.
I think it's divisible. It's divisible by
You gotta
5.
make it even. If you're doing 2 times a week, my OCD can't handle the 25. That's like half a week, and then you're starting a new season halfway through.
Touche. So where would you put the break, Coach Rebecca?
Ooh, let's see. Half a year is what, 26 weeks? So times 2.
Quarterly,
Quarterly maybe.
which would be 13 times 2 would be 26 episodes in a quarter of the year.
I think 50 is a good number. Like 50 is
50's
a celebration.
50's what, 25 weeks? We could do a week break, but I don't know if the world needs a break of this type of quality.
Of this,
We don't want to deprive the world of this type of quality entertainment.
No.
We are giving the world something, Brand. Like, one big thing for me is, am I contributing to the world? And I feel like with B Minor and the X Factor, we are contributing to the world.
You are.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, okay, this is your guys' show. And the reason why I keep tuning in, me personally, and probably Will, I've seen him here a few times, and I forgot.
Caleb's in the house.
Corner,
Caleb from the 808. What's up, Caleb?
Yeah, I've seen him several times. So look, there's so much news and craziness going on in the world, fires and
people dying and people rioting and left and right, and there's so much negativity, right? And everyone, well, if you feel this way, unfollow me now. If you feel that way, unfollow me now. If you feel like, whether or not you feel one way or another on your guys' show, it doesn't matter. It's all good vibes, positivity. It's for the most part, minus the trolls, adult conversation that, you know, is, and hey, congratulations on the trolls, because that means that you've got people out there that are taking notice and know you're showing up. So
That is very true.
It's
Once you
awesome
get
to
trolls,
see.
that's how you know you're winning.
How do you have enough time to get on somebody else's to try to spend your evening to yell out stuff, obscenities during a recording of a YouTube show? Like, where do you find the time?
they
People
don't
are actually
have to
crazy.
fill their time. That's the thing.
If we could repeat what those people were saying, it would be interesting. But I think as for right now, I'm just not gonna say a word and just hope that the trolls don't come back.
Maybe Brian Pope. Brian Pope put in the chat that he's got a question for B Minor. Maybe he's a troll and he'll yell something obscene and we'll boot him out, but we'll see. Go ahead, Brian Pope, if you are on and you can unmute yourself, I believe. If not, put something in the chat that says, I don't know how to unmute myself, but if you do know how to unmute yourself and ask a question. And I got an answer, and it might be a quick mute and an escort out. But last week we had somebody bring a lot of value to the call with Caston Spethman. So let's see, Brian Pope, are you able to unmute yourself and ask a question? If you are, now would be the time. If you can't, you can type it in the chat. That also is acceptable.
Is he with us?
Brian
Hello?
Pope, you are live.
Your time is now.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Hey, Minor.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
I just want to let you know that I'm an average fan of the podcast. It's been a great listen. I'm trying to tune in as much as possible, but what you guys got going on is just awesome, you know. So thank you for having this podcast. Like I said, it's been great listening, and yeah, just keep going at it. So you coach at Pacific, right?
Pacific University, go Boxers, let's go!
Just learned
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah, I know a couple of people out there, and I heard a lot of good things about you. I heard that. Hello?
I think we got a troll. He's trying to get up the mustard to say something really mean or nasty about me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna say anything mean about you. No, I wouldn't do that. I just heard you have a horse cock.
Got him! Almost got it out. Let's go. Thank you, Brian Pope, for keeping us entertained. Thank you. You almost had us.
Hey, what is wrong with this guy?
He was a troll. Let's go.
What's wrong with this dude?
What I love is that he's still on, but
Will
he can't
out. Where'd
talk.
Will go? Will disappeared.
Will might be
Horse cock.
back.
Horse cock.
Will might be mad.
Horse cock.
cock.
Horse cock. Big ass horse cock.
Let's go! Oh boy. All right. He's the bouncer has him and he's escorting him out of the chat room. Is this a chat room? I don't know if this is really a chat room or not, but he's been escorted out. Will's coming back in. Will be allowed back in. It was nice that we called the troll a troll before he could troll. He got a little out there, but we were able to keep it under control without too much trouble. But there he was. He was here, Rebecca.
Hey, fans, I'm telling you, perfect timing.
I knew it. I had a feeling that I can't remember what that name was, but it was too trolly. Let's see. Brian Pope, the Pope. the Pope gives no hope, and he got muted. And then he figured out that he could still unmute. So he got back on and was able to create a little more havoc, but pretty entertaining.
Well, hey, at least he heard you have a. He said it wasn't bad, right?
I don't know where he was going with that, but it sounded like it might be a little obscene. So we were able to get the mute on him because we're not on delay. Like we keep saying, this is SNL. This is Sunday Night Live. So you're bound to have some of this craziness happen. It is 2020 after all.
Brent, he must have seen the last episode.
He was trying so hard to get it out, and then he's like, do I really want to say this because I know I'm going to get booted? And then he was able to get half of a shout out before he got outed.
I like the way he set it up. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, Brent, we made it.
Does that mean we've made it though? Like, is that what that kind of means? It's like people wait around until Sunday or Wednesday night to be able to come on and try to yell obscene things during this craziness. I mean, it does create a little bit of entertainment, and I felt like, oh, we can trust people enough to let them unmute themselves. So maybe that's our fault for not policing this well enough, but at least we're not an elementary school class with people trying to sneak in so that way they can yell obscene things like some of these schools are dealing with in the world today.
Bro, I'm sorry, I'm losing it. This is that was crazy.
Right after we had kind of predicted what he was going to do, we kind of said that we knew what was going to happen, and so I had a feeling he was working up to it.
I can feel like, remember last week we were like, the vibes are like off a little bit, like the vibes are crazy. This one, the vibes are crazy, and then he delivered on the what he said.
And then we have like Ryan McDaniels. Ryan McDaniels is wanting to come into the chat. He's waiting in the waiting room. We might let him wait because he might be Brian Pope.
You think Ryan was also a troll?
You think we should let Ryan
I
McDaniels
see
in?
Parker's Northwest shirt over there.
I mean, I guess.
Who's Parker?
Parker is a player. We're
He
gonna
looks like a player.
Parker. Where are you at, Parker?
Back at apartment right now.
Apartment. Go Boxers. Let's go.
Go Boxer. Of course, Boxer Nation.
Let's go.
Sir.
Is he one of your players, Brant?
Parker is one of our players. Senior year transfer and gonna graduate and then hopefully help us coach next season unless he gets offered that NBA contract that he can't turn down.
Not at all.
Hey, if
No.
Seattle still had a team, they might go for the local hometown hero. You never know. But Seattle doesn't have a team anymore, so
Okay,
it's a long shot.
he wants to say hello.
What up? What up?
Cameron Jones!
What up?
Cameron Jones making an appearance on B Minor and the X Factor. Let's go.
Hold on, we got 15 seconds in this game. LeBron James
Is it close still? I haven't been watching.
to the pass. Caruso for three. He's short.
I like the commentary we're getting. I like it playing right now.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
got 2 seconds. Denver's up 1.
Denver's up. Whose ball?
Lakers ball. Lakers have no
Lakers
time.
ball. Give us the commentary. Give us the play-by-play, Cameron Jones.
All right, Jamal Murray with a block. 2.1 seconds left. Rondo back in for Caruso. Here we go. Oh, they're going big. Oh, they got to get Plumlee in there. Oh, boy.
Man.
Jokic, Millsap. Oh, they got
they school.
under the
I'm
back.
watching it on the app.
Ball, 0.1 seconds.
They win.
Got Ron to AD at the elbows. Cut to the basket. Anthony Davis for three. Oh!
Did he make it?
Oh, he did it. He did it, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, win it?
Lakers win by 2.
Game 2. Oh, my goodness. Damn.
LeBron, was it Anthony Davis hit a 3?
Hit a 3. Last 2 seconds.
Wow.
That was bad.
Yeah.
How did you like his commentary, Coach?
That wasn't bad. That was pure raw emotion when he saw that shot go in. That's hard to replicate.
It's not as good as yours, though, Coach. I'll give him that.
He's got some work to do. He's still in school, but the reaction was great, but the leading up to it, I didn't feel like I could really visualize. And sometimes in radio, you need to have a little bit more imagery.
Damn, Coach Myers said you need some more work. You need to fine tune it. I need to tune in? Yeah.
A little more imagery, a little more ability to paint the picture of what was happening in the game. And I didn't really see that ball come in bounds. Was there a screen? Was it a fall-away three? Was it a setback?
It was a flare screen. It was a little curl from LeBron, and an AD curl, and then it was a three from the left wing at the buzzer. So
See if you did that at the beginning.
yeah, but hey, man, it was a big moment. You know, Lakers up 2. I'm a Warriors fan, but the Warriors will be Western Conference champs next year.
You heard it here first. Cameron Jones is going out on a limb saying that the Golden State Warriors will win the West next year. Write that down. Cameron Jones, take it to the bank. Take it to the bank because Cameron Jones knows his stuff. Cameron Jones is my go-to women's basketball fan friend because his sister was the #1 recruit in the country, plays at Stanford. So when I want to talk women's basketball, Cameron Jones is my phone a friend.
Well, that sounds perfect. That sounds like the perfect phone a friend. Cameron Jones, we appreciate that because everybody needs a phone a friend.
Everybody needs somebody that they can talk to. I have different outlets, different reaches. If I'm talking Big East hoops.
Hey, what about Brian Pope? When are you going to talk to him?
If Brian Pope wants to call back, I'd probably. There's a lot of beeping. There's a lot of things going on right now on my computer, but I don't know how to feel. I feel kind of torn because he was so nice, and then he was leading up to something, and you could definitely feel it coming, right? When he started to kind of laugh, that's when I got my mouse over there. And now we got Ryan McDaniel still waiting in the waiting room, waiting to try to come in and wait some more. But
Sounds like an Irish name.
McDaniels.
Ryan McDaniel?
Magruder.
Brian McDaniel?
Ryan McDaniels, do you know him?
Ryan. I do not know Ryan McDaniels.
Rebecca, do you know Ryan McDaniels?
No clue.
I guess a fan of the podcast.
Does that mean we let him in and see how long he can stick around
Let's
before
see, is he joining with video or no video?
Honestly, at this point, I think we might as well just let him.
I think we let him in and then we say, hey, we'll see what you got.
What's up, Ryan? Hi. Welcome to that.
Ryan, are you on? Connecting to your audio, Ryan. Ryan McDaniels, you came in late, but at least.
Daniels?
Ryan? Danielson? Ryan, are you unmuted? Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining. Are you a troll?
Horsecock!
There he is! Let's go! We knew it!
Horsecock!
We knew it!
Horsecock!
Let's go!
Big long horse!
Too much. We're too good. So what that means is either had somebody else go enter it, or he went and changed his name or something, because once you're removed, you're not allowed to re-enter the room. So he must have changed his name or done something. But he didn't ruin the episode. We were able to get him muted, but some people have.
Grant, can you see Ponce's reaction over here? I know you're trying to monitor and shut things down, but twice now, Ponce's reaction has been priceless. That's made every Sunday and Wednesday night worth it, just watching his reaction these last 2 times. You have to go back and watch that.
If you didn't see it, he muted himself because we know that you knew it was coming. And what was hilarious is he waited in the waiting room for 15 minutes, just hoping that he would get accepted. He got asked in, and then he yells out obscenities.
Hey, he waited in the waiting room for 15 minutes just so that he could come back and say that.
Like, what are you doing with your life? Why do you, like, you don't have anything else going that you're going to wait around for 15 minutes and then when you finally get accepted, he couldn't even slow play it. He couldn't even slow play it, right? Just the first thing when he got unmuted was, yeah!
he's like trying to get as many in as he can because he knows that you're gonna mute him. So he's like, like, oh man.
And now he's booted.
I gotta be
And now
more
he's
composed
booted.
in this, Brent. I'm sorry. This is too. This is not ideal, but this is funny.
That was pretty funny. That he doesn't
Hey,
even have the nerve to wait that long, just hoping to get back in to be able to yell something like that.
Oh.
So what's the craziest thing that you guys have ever done publicly? There's a topic. Since people want to jump in and be trolls, and I mean, that phrase is, I could think of a million better things to say, but
Just an inappropriate phrase.
what has everybody else done in here? Caleb, you ever do anything crazy? Parker?
Caleb is
Nothing that crazy.
tell us what he's done crazy.
Nothing that crazy.
Nothing that crazy. Parker, have you ever done anything like yelled out obscenities or like the penis game?
No. First year on varsity basketball in high school, I got hazed pretty bad, so I'm not gonna talk.
What'd they do to you?
It's a really big, so like it was like a 12-year tradition like in my high school, and so you literally had to go up to someone's door just with your undies, just all nude, and you have to knock on the door and you have to say Merry Christmas and you have to shake their hand. I'm not too proud of that, to be honest, but
At least you're only shaking their hand. That's good. I was expecting something worse, so shaking a handshake in your undies, A-okay.
I wasn't too happy about that. But I was a freshman, so I couldn't really say no.
I would probably say no.
It's one of those things where peer pressure and hazing has no business, I don't think. I think positive team building is good, but to make people do things that
No.
I don't know. What do you think about that, Pont? Hazing? I mean,
Never been hazed, never done any hazing. I'm not a big fan of it.
I think everybody that's a freshman should carry the bags, whether the starter, the star, or the end of the bench guy. Everybody does their role when they're a freshman, and then you get certain privileges given back to you as you work your way up in a program.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think seniority definitely plays a big role, and I'm especially saying that right now because I'm a senior. So I want to solidify that and say it as often as I can.
How often do you rebound at 6:30 in the morning, Pont?
Every morning.
So seniority doesn't come with all privileges. Being a walk-on sometimes probably does trump being a senior.
Senior walk-on. That part is tough, and it's attached, and it's very, very real, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, except for maybe a scholarship.
Except for maybe a scholarship.
Scholarship I would take, but otherwise I love it.
But to be 5'8" on a Division I roster in the Big East Conference, dropping bucket.
Bucket. One.
If you're just watching, you don't know, Pont's got 1 point in his career. So if you're watching, you didn't know, his bucket is singular.
Singular bucket. One free throw. And don't worry, maybe I shot 2 free throws, but don't worry about the first one.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take at the free throw line, but you miss 50% of the ones you do. Is that right?
I missed 50% of the ones that I took.
But there's also statistically, they say you miss every shot you don't take, you miss, but isn't 0 for 0 better than 0 for 1? Statistically speaking.
I would say so, unless you got in the game and chucked up a full court shot, because that would just be hilarious.
With nobody guarding you and 30 seconds on the shot clock and they inbound it and you just throw it the length of the floor. baseball style.
Out of bounds.
Is that a missed shot or a turnover?
I don't know, Brent. This is the last question that I'm gonna ask everybody. Okay, what do you think the funniest thing is that somebody could go in a basketball game and do?
I had a player actually steal the ball. We were winning, and there was like maybe 5 to 10 seconds left on the clock, and my 6'9" player had wide open lane to go and dunk it. Never dunked in a game before, and one of my 2 guard stole the ball from my own player, and it confused everybody. Even the ref was like, I don't even know what to call that. So that's one of the funny, not hilarious funny, but like.
So he didn't want his teammate to get a dunk, so he picked his pocket.
He's not on the team anymore, but yeah, he thought he'd be cute. He thought it was real funny to just like, the kid's name is Arope, the 6'9" kid, and he started driving towards the basket, and my guard was standing there, and he just picked it right out.
I guess if you're going to the rim and you're not going hard enough that you can't dunk on your own teammate. I mean, I guess you don't see it coming though either. Like,
yeah, this was like top of the key. He wasn't anywhere in the process of it yet. He started at like half court, made it just past 10-foot line, maybe top of the key, and then whoop, there went the ball.
Because you can't foul somebody on your own team, I don't think, right?
Right. So that's why the ref was really confused. He wasn't sure how to call that because he's never seen that before. And at the time, that player got a good butt chewing, but he thought it was really funny. They laugh about it now, but I have a standing that I'll pay $20 to the. Whoa, wait, no, I'm not saying that.
Sounds like a violation to me.
20 bags of Skittles to the first kid on the team that can dunk in a game.
Can you take a charge on your own player?
That would be hilarious. A charge on your own player would be hilarious. Like, one of the things I was thinking, but I don't know if this would be funny or just like a what the hell moment. If like, think about like if somebody like came in the game, like somebody passed them the ball and then they just like took the ball and just threw it out of bounds. And then just went and sat back down.
What about if you turned it over and you didn't have any minutes played? If you check into the game, you have the ball, you hold it for 5 seconds, turnover, the coach pulls you right back out. So you have 0 seconds played and 1 turnover.
What if you get a fast break layup? You come in the game, you get a fast break layup, you're on the fast break, you take your gather, 1, 2, just keep running. Go all the way out of bounds and out the door.
Gate, up the tunnel and out the door. Steal the ball. Steal the ball. What do? You can't change the basketball mid-game. What do you do if one of the players takes the ball and just runs, just Forrest Gumps it out of there?
It's going to have to be a goose chase.
Somebody's going to have to go after him, but is it a referee's responsibility? Is it the person that has the little sweeper, like the mop squad? Like, who
What
is
if the
it?
whole arena went after him, angry mob style?
If everybody in the arena just went after him.
Wasn't that on a movie somewhere? I think I saw that in a movie somewhere.
If not, it should be.
Write it down.
What's that high school movie with Zac Efron where he?
High School Musical.
No, he's a basketball player, and then he ends up like waking up and he's 30 something. And
Are you talking about 17 again?
no, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one. Didn't he run out of the gym in a basketball game? Just
He
like
might have.
kept
He
going.
might have.
Yeah.
What about if you tackle your own quarterback? I mean, I guess if you get a steal from your own teammate, it doesn't count. But if you can get a steal from your teammate and then lay it in, that gets you 2 points.
That's a good buck right there. That's meaningful stats.
What about if they hand you the ball to take it out of bounds, and before you can inbound it, there's a technical foul. Somebody yells something. So you go on, you're the guy that they call to take the free throw. So you take the free throw and the coach takes you right back out. So would that mean you have points but no seconds played?
That's kind of cool, actually. That would be sweet. I need that, actually.
Because if you're a fan of the show, even if you're not a fan of the show, you're about to hear this. I played in 21 college basketball games, 21, and I didn't have a turnover. Yep, hands down, 21 games, Parker, and I never booted it off my foot. I never passed it to the other team. I did miss a few shots. Let's not talk about my field goal percentage while we're talking about this. But if you look at my assist to turnover ratio, do you guys know this symbol?
Hey, Coach, that's impressive, though. Sure.
That's because I shot every time I touched it before I could turn it over. So that's how you get an infinity assist to turnover ratio is you don't pass, you just shoot. What about the guy that had 1 point, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 turnover, and 1 foul in 1 minute played? Did you hear about that?
That's kind of crazy.
I saw one the other day on, it was on that Instagram app, but it was like the craziest stat lines of all time. And it was like, some of them were Dennis Rodman's, like 0 points, 28 rebounds.
All hustle, baby. All heart.
The worm. Nicknames. Favorite sports nicknames.
X Factor.
The X Factor is legendary because if you guys don't know, you're gonna be seeing this move next year from the X Factor in the Big East Conference. Let's go. The X Factor, Xavier McDaniels was also the X Factor for the Supersonics back in the probably 1990s, maybe.
Wait, what? Xavier McDaniels is the X Factor. Who's the guy that just came in? Like
Brian Pope.
No, the other guy. I think his last name was McDaniel.
Ryan McDaniels.
Ryan McDaniels. That's right.
McDaniel.
The Great White Hope. McHope.
Mr. Horseman is what we're going to call him. The Headless Horseman.
Oh, man.
Will just got out of a fire drill. Hopefully, I'm glad it was just a drill.
That's good.
Every time, those TV commercials where it comes on, it's like, this is only a test of your emergency broadcast channel. Those things scare me now when I hear those sirens go off because it's not like, oh, it's just a test. It could be, who knows? The world is crazy right now.
Is it still burning?
There's still fire burning, but the smoke has cleared enough that we can go outside. We weren't able to go outside for like 9 days because the smoke was so bad. The air quality.
It was actually an actual fire because it took a little bit longer and a bunch of fire trucks had to come to my building.
Whoa. Well, glad everything's all right there, Will.
You happy everything's good with you?
How about Will the Thrill Clark? Will the Thrill. Will the Thrill's also been known as GOAT, I believe. Is that what your nickname was, Will?
Yes, here at Fort Hays State University, yes.
Fort Hays State, and when they go into the gym, Will's known as the GOAT. Greatest of all time.
G-O-A-T, GOAT.
Yeah, I kind of like Will the Thrill, though.
That's what my coaches called me when I was younger.
Will the Thrill. What about the glove? Pont, you know the glove?
The glove stuff. Gary Payton.
Gary Payton, GP, are you with me? Okay, that's a good nickname. Grandmama, Larry Johnson.
Grandmama. It's a hell of a nickname right there. I don't know if I want people calling me Grandmama.
Yeah, I don't know how he got that one, but let's see. Air Jordan. Everybody knows that's a pretty famous nickname. Clyde the Glide, Drexler.
I like the truth. I like the answer.
The answer.
The answer.
The process. Is there one now called the process? Is that Embiid?
Embiid.
Embiid's the process.
You gotta trust it.
But at a certain point, it's kind of like saying somebody has potential. Like potential is great to a certain point, and then it's kind of an insult, right? Like if somebody's got potential, but they never realize it, is that a good? Like if say you're 21 with potential. I don't know if
Potential's a good starting point. I think if you don't move quickly from potential into something else better, then then you end up washed up. And like, what are you after potential is given up?
I always say that it's better to have been a has-been than a never was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the one thing that I always say, like about the potential, like you have to self-examine and trust the process and plan and connect with people with where you want to go to be who you want to be. And you have to, in my student development theory, which I've learned in grad school, like you have to understand your identity versus a mission, which is one of the psychologists Erickson talks about in one of his stages. Like you're not going to know your like identity until you go through what you have been through.
That's deep. That's deep. That made me think, Will.
Okay, question. On a coach's level, B minor, and from a player standpoint, because we've heard some people say that it matters what your teammates think, and the coaches talk to the teammates too. So if you were to discuss a player with your other coaches and your other teammates, and from a coach's standpoint, if you were talking and said, hey, he's got, like you said, Parker has potential to make it in the pros. And from a player standpoint, if you were talking to your coach and said, oh yeah, the guy's got potential, what would your definition of that be? Is that a good thing? Is it I'm in the neutral zone on this guy? Is it you're hopeful for him?
I think when you're young and have potential, I think that's a great thing. If you're old and people say you had potential, that means you were a waste. And wasted potential is worthless. If you waste your potential, if you don't maximize your potential, the X Factor's potential is different than my potential, is different than your potential. Everybody's potential level is different. All you can try to do is get as close as you can to your potential. That's what I try to stress to kids, is you can't compare yourself to anybody else, because comparison is the thief of joy. So comparing yourself to other people, all you can do is try to compare yourself to who you were yesterday and try to be better than who you were yesterday. So I think potential, if I see a kid that's a freshman in high school and I'm like, man, I love that kid, he's got potential, I want to see him when he's a junior and see if he's developed and started to tap into that potential. And the kid can have potential, like I could say, oh, I firmly believe that Pont and Parker and Mario and Will and Caleb all have potential to do great things. And I won't say that that potential is wasted until way further down the road. But their potential as players, there's a kind of a cap on that. And that's where at a certain point, all you can do is try to tap in and get as close as you can to your ceiling. Because what's that quote Michael Jordan said, the roof is the ceiling?
The ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. And what
is he wrong?
The ceiling technically is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof. Think about that one, ladies and gents. The ceiling is the roof.
But the roof is on fire?
Raise the roof.
Raise the roof.
The roof is on fire.
This was the move. This was the move, Parker. Right here. Raise the roof.
I mean, for me, anyhow, like I was at Lorenzo Romar's like basketball camp. He used to coach at University of Washington. Now he's a coach at Pepperdine, I believe now. And he always looked at potential as kind of a bad thing. You know, potential means you haven't done anything yet. And just to piggyback on what Coach Miner said, you know, that means you have to take the necessary steps in order to improve yourself and, you know, make those strides as a player. So those are just some of the things. Like, that's my opinion on potential. It just means you have to work. You know, you can do, you know, that's obviously they believe in you, but you have to first like put in the work and be able to meet those expectations.
That's a great input.
Yeah, and one thing too that I would like to add on that is that in my disability advocacy field, there is a disability activist out there named Mia Ivis Rubley, and the one thing that she tells people is that you have to find your place in the movement or with what you do, and you have to find your passion to build on something and to go on there to get off your potential.
Good. I like that, Will. Will, did you also want to have something you wanted to add about Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Yes. Yeah. So so in 1999 there was the famous Supreme Court case Olmstead versus LC. There were two based off these two women named Lois Curtis and Elaine Wilson in the state of Georgia. They were stuck in a hospital longer because they were mentally disabled. And what Ruth Bader Ginsburg did was that she helped make that, for people with disabilities being stuck in a hospital, unconstitutional, and that due to disability, and that they're able to receive their own services in the community. And I wouldn't be able to go do whatever I want in the community because of this case, what Ruth Bader Ginsburg has done. And now people with disabilities like myself can be able to be involved in our community and not stuck in what is called institutions where they control our lives. And in our country, there are still some institutions going on this day. And like, I fight and tell people to know that people with disabilities have lived in institutions in the past and had to fight their own way to get out. And I've had friends that have had to fight to get out of an institution, and it's the most difficult thing at times to overcome. And still, not every single state in our country has a law that bans institutions from being in their states.
Wow. Well, Will, you're an inspiration, man. We've definitely enjoyed having you as a faithful viewer, and it is inspiring to see what you've been able to overcome because of, and now not only to have a disability, but to be able to advocate and be a positive influence and change, and have a college, working on a master's degree, correct? That's awesome. And so that's just inspirational, man. I love that you join us on these calls, but that just says a lot about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the influence she had and how she impacted the rest of the world. And so looking at her legacy and what she's leaving behind, so much equality, so many women's rights, but then also for the disabled, she was an advocate. So she will be missed, and hopefully we're able to replace her on the Supreme Justice with somebody equally as noble and has as much passion or compassion.
Oh, and what I encourage people is to become an ally for disability rights. Get involved in any disability organization in your own community, protest and speak up for our rights. And just in a couple weeks in October, it's going to be Disability Awareness Month and National Disability Employment Awareness Month, as well as Down Syndrome Awareness Month is October. So it's a big month in the disability community for those that don't know about that.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. We'll definitely bring that back up during the month of October, because it is something that I'm a firm believer in, advocating and helping and supporting people that have disabilities and syndromes. Down syndrome obviously is a really well-known syndrome, but there's a lot of people that need advocates. And so you will, as an advocate, me as an ally, we're going to do what we can to help put a dent in the discrimination that has happened and is still happening to people with disabilities. Let's go! Let's do it!
Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, closing remarks, and we'll wrap up post this good interactive episode. Prayers up to our man King McClure. Going to be joining us soon. Pont, what do you got for us?
In closing, everybody, live
Back.
the way you want to live. And if you're not living the way you want to live, then do something today that is going to change your life for the better. That's what I got for you guys today for my closing remarks. Thank you very much for pulling up, showing up. We had some trolls today. Incredible. We love it because that means that we're doing something great. We wish it didn't happen, but hey, it happens sometimes. X Factor signing out. And at the end of the day, if you're going to walk
on. Let's go. We cannot do great things, but we can do small things in a great way every day. Let's go. Parker, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Signing off.
No, it's great. I love the podcast. I learn something new every time I come on.